Former Vice President Kamala Harris announcing she will not run for governor of California in 2026, ending all speculation that she might seek her state's top executive role. She says, quote, "In recent months, I have given serious thought to asking the people of California for the privilege to serve as their governor. I love this state, its people, and its promise. It is my home. But after deep reflection, I've decided that I will not run for governor in this election." Now, this election, two words that should not be overlooked because the move is already fueling speculation of a potential presidential bid in 2028, particularly a possible showdown between the failed presidential candidate and current California Governor Gavin Newsom, who says he is grateful for her service. Writing this, quote, "Kamala Harris has courageously served our state and country for her entire career. Whether it be as a prosecutor, attorney general, senator, or vice president, she has always kept a simple pledge at the heart of every decision she's made for the people." Ari, this would be a fascinating development because up until now, the two of them who have shared a donor base and shared sort of a political class donor base of the 7 families in California, as they're known, have always done the dance of you're taking this office, I'm running for this. Do you foresee a showdown finally between these frenemies?
Well, first and foremost, I don't think she'll be missed. I do not think there's a Kamala Harris wing of the Democratic Party that this morning woke up and said how disappointed we are. She was the vice president, so institutionally she was looked to succeed Joe Biden, but that's it. So she had the institutional role, but she did not have an ideological role. She did not have a leadership role, a personal role, or a charismatic role. And that's what you need to become a presidential nominee. I think the Democrats are going to have mayhem, which is not a bad thing. It's a primary, and primaries need to be settled by the Democratic voters. They're going to have 15, 20, 25 candidates. They're going to have 2 stages, 2 nights of debates. It's going to be wide open mayhem for the Democrats. I think she'll go nowhere because she doesn't have a wing of the party.
That was going to be my question to you, Marie, is there sort of an ego invested, meaning after you're the vice president, to risk being fleshed out at the primary level, would that be an embarrassment she can risk having, and therefore is she done with politics, or will we see her and potentially, and I agree with you that likely she would be fleshed out at that primary level?
Look, I think it's hard once you've been so close to walk away. For anyone, that's just human nature, right? I don't actually think she's going to run for president. I think she will consider it. I think in her heart she will want to, but we can't rehash the past election. We can't rehash the Biden-Harris administration. My party needs to move on. And I think she's smart and savvy, and she doesn't want to end her, I think, quite distinguished career with 2 losses, like a loss in a primary. So I actually don't think she's going to run. I think Newsom is, and I think Ari's right. It's going to be a huge primary. I can't wait. I'm ready for it. I think my party needs to flesh out a lot of stuff, and I think you're going to have lots of people running, but I actually don't think she's going to be one of them. And I think this decision showed that. I think this was her saying, I've enjoyed serving. I'm grateful for it. It's time.
Yeah,
that's interesting. We didn't know that was going to happen when we had booked a former member of her campaign on our power panel today last hour, Mike Nellis. And it was interesting to hear him say he thinks it's all about the book that dropped, called 107 Days. And he said, you know, you got to sell copies of the book. And so that's probably why you saw that. And he said, look, she's got to, and I've heard other Democrats say it too, she's got to work on some things, so on and so forth. I don't know that what didn't connect with American voters you can fix. I don't know that you can make someone palatable when they don't have a gear to tell even the women of The View, which is like going to your best friend's birthday party and having her braid your hair, because they love Democrats. I don't know how you can go on that show and when asked, so, you know, Joe Biden not doing well in the polling, what would you do differently from Joe? And you can't think of one thing. And then by indoctrination, I don't know, they twisted people's arms. They put her at the top of the ticket, and there wasn't a vote cast. So at the very least, let there be 50 of those candidates for the Democratic ticket, because the voters were robbed last time. They didn't even get to choose the top of the ticket. They got forced to have.
That's Joe Biden's fault.
Oh, really? I don't know. Gosh,
all right, that's a whole other conversation. Yeah. Carly, we have that announcement, actually, so we can play that. This is Kamala Harris making the announcement about her book, which we knew was coming because we knew CAA signed her and the ghostwriter and all the things. So here's her ad. Watch.
Just over a year ago, I launched my campaign for President of the United States. 107 days, traveling the country, fighting for our future. The shortest presidential campaign in modern history. I've spent a lot of time reflecting on those days, talking with my team, my family, my friends, and pulling my thoughts together. In essence, writing a journal that is this book.
Tuesday.
Well, 107 days looks a lot longer than 107 pages. So that was a reflection on her part. We also do know that Kamala Harris loves space. So when you first read this headline that she's dropping out, you would think that she's not running for governor. You think that she'd come back down to reality and realize that her future rests in other places than politics. But I think that she has her eyes solely on 2028, because two other words that I want to focus on in her announcements were, for now, my public service will not be in elected office, which means I don't think she's reading the room here. I think she's tripling down and also taking into consideration that oftentimes history is kinder to ex-presidents and ex-administrations, and she might think she could benefit that by not running now and waiting to 2028.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.